From ManBoobs to my best self. I'm going to riff around the intersection of psychedelia and diet, nutrition, and food. This is something that I haven't heard many people talk about as one of the benefits of microdosing or macrodosing, but it's definitely something that I've experienced. When I first started on this path, I was 240 pounds. I had man boobs. I had a kind of a inflamed face because I drank so much alcohol, and I was living on late night burritos and pizza, and I was sick, and I felt so bad in my body. And I've talked about this ad nauseum, that this was, all of that was a projection of unhealed trauma. And when I started doing this inner work and healing and reconnecting to self-love and feeling so good in my body, and I just wanted to treat myself with love. And, we are literally what we eat. I heard the other day, I read in a book, I think it was Good Energy by Casey Means, and she had said that we are all 3D printed images and of the food that we've and the liquids that we've drank over the course of our life. And that's so true. For better or worse, we are 3D printed images. The substrate of that, the cartridge, is the food and the liquids that we're drinking. And, so to have the awareness around, I think that the big leverage point here, or the big potential opportunity, is, I say time and time again with microdosing, it's 3 to 5% more empathy, 3 to 5% more courage, 3 to 5% more self-awareness. So we have more of this interoceptive awareness. Again, that's everything within our body, our inner world, everything from the confines of our skin and within. And we can start to, I think we can intellectualize all the time, hey, I should eat healthy. And, these toxic processed foods are bad for me. Alcohol's bad for me. We can intellectualize this, but when we feel it in our body, when we embody it, embody that pain of that toxicity of something that we're eating in every cell in our body, we're going to feel that. And that's going to resonate as, whoa, don't do that. Stop doing that. So the signal to noise, the signal is going to break through the noise, and we're going to have that really strong, earnest aha moment of, geez, I don't feel very good. And it's because of this. And I need to nourish myself better. So there's this, what's called intuitive eating, where, again, we're tapping into our body's innate intuition, our innate wisdom, and our body knows what it needs. And so, reestablishing that relationship with our body, where we can trust its impulses for what it needs, and we can reconnect to that. And in doing so, we're again reconnecting to an energy source. And when it comes to psychedelia, like, this might be the most important angle, although it's not talked about. This, one could argue, because we are what we eat, and our food system is under attack right now. We're finally, it's 2026, we're waking up to the toxicity. It's funny here, I'm in Miami Beach, and I go over to the Trader Joe's, and just the other day, the cashier was, they like to give you, the free samples, this and that. And, they like to give you, suckers, these little kid suckers that they put in your bag. And you're a valued customer, yada, yada, yada. And I said, no, I'm good. Thank you. No, thank you. And he's like, and he looked at me with a kind of a little bit of a grin. He said, I'm not trying to poison you. And of course, he was saying that kind of lighthearted, but that's also a function of living in kind of an optimization health bubble that we are here. It's a beach culture. People are pretty healthy here. But I think it's also a testament to our times that we're waking up to the toxicity in our food. Just last month, in December of 2025, the city of San Francisco filed a massive class action lawsuit, or a massive lawsuit against Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and Nestle, among many others, for peddling these toxic, ultra processed foods that have our country really, really sick. And, it's thought that 60 to 70% of the food that we eat here in America is highly processed, nutrient dead garbage, not nutrient dense. And when our bodies are waking up to feeling good and we get a taste of what it feels like to feel optimally, again, the hallmark of the psychedelic experience and microdosing is boosted mood and energy levels. We're feeling good. And we can have that awareness about the fuel, because we want to keep that going. We want to feel good. I think that's our goal. People might not say it outright. It's my goal. I want to feel good in my body. I know that there's going to be some days where I don't, and I structure a fast day for that, kind of a Sabbath day where I slow down. Typically 1 day a week, I don't have any calories. I know that's a little bit intense. I've been doing this for the last 5 years. It's not going to be for everyone, but I'll have a little bit of coffee, a little bit of tea, and this is a way to regulate my system. A little bit of a digression back to San Francisco and this big lawsuit. So this is hopefully a sign of things to come, where people are pushing back and they're going to be suing for damages, saying, hey, we've got this incredible cost of chronic disease that the taxpayers, that the people are having to pay for. And while you all are raking in the millions and billions of dollars, we've got, San Francisco's, they've got big problems with drugs and like walking zombies. I've been there. I've been in the Tenderloin district. I've seen people inject and that are just so far gone in their trauma. And yeah, I'd never seen anything like that. I did take an opportunity. I stayed pretty close to the Tenderloin district back in 2019, 2020, when I went to California for the Lightning in a Bottle Festival. And I was absolutely blown away at what was happening there, and to see that and to witness that. And I was like a ghost walking through. No one even acknowledged me. Everybody was so in their drama, deep in their addiction, that they've got big problems. Of course, every major American city has big problems. I'm here in Miami. There's problems in Miami. I spent a lot of time in Chicago. There's big problems in Chicago. But again, hopefully we're waking up to, we are what we eat. And if we're putting this junk in our bodies, we're going to feel horrible and we're going to have chronic disease. And our bodies are going to fight back with inflammation, with dis-ease. And we're going to feel that in our mind and our mood. Some practical strategies that I know we've gotten a little bit on the macro level here. I want to ground our energies here and hopefully give you a few takeaways. For me, one of the big shifts around, and I share this with all my clients, we always have a session or half a session where we talk about nutrition and talk about some of these basic things that if I can't pronounce it, I shouldn't be eating it, period. This was back about 20 years ago when I was in Chicago, and I moved down there, and I had no money, and I was eating ham sandwiches all the time, making my way in the business world. I was getting these horrible hives around my joints, and it was from all of the nitrates that they put in our lunch meats and put on our meats, and all of this preservative crap. And my body was rebelling against that like 25 years ago. So I had to start making some of these adjustments, and had to start finding and being more conscious about reading labels and looking at things, because I was getting these horrible hives around my joints. Apparently the toxicity builds up around our joints. And so this was something that I'm sensitive. I'm very sensitive. I talk about that. And I've felt a lot of the burnout culture and the heaviness and the polarization. I felt that back in 2015. And I was sick and realizing that my ways were unsustainable. I was drinking too much. I was eating crappy food, and I was neglecting my health. And my energy levels suffered for it. I wasn't sleeping well. I had ruminating thoughts all these things that were all tied together. And again, back to the practical strategies. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Minimal ingredients too. I try to have things that only have a few ingredients, 4 to 5, 5 to 10. If I can pronounce those. When you get into that that long list, it's like, hold on now, what the heck is going on here? That's what I'm going to push back on that. And I'm still eating a lot of the really, I'm still having pizza, and I give myself cheat meals, and I eat pretty healthy around the house. I make most of my own meals. Batch cooking can be really, really helpful. I know we're all busy. We're all trying to get things done and trying to make our mark on the world and try to deliver our mission and purpose and to serve our circle of influence, etc. So we're busy. The batch cooking, I'll buy a head of cauliflower, some sweet potatoes, chop up the potatoes, put that in the oven. It's done in 45 minutes. Literally takes me 2 minutes to make. And then I've got this giant kind of casserole dish full of veggies to eat for the next few days. Maybe some sweet potatoes, maybe some potatoes, purple potatoes. Anything that has lots of color can be really good. That's high in antioxidants. And a great resource for this would be the Blue Zones documentary. This is all about living to these 5 special places around the globe where they have an abnormally high amount of, I think they're called centenarians, people that live to be over 100. And so the lessons from the Blue Zones is a powerful documentary. There's lots of golden information around living a conscious lifestyle and being mindful about the food that we're eating, the people that we're spending time with, the importance of balance, taking care of ourselves, moving our bodies, all these things were, having a greater purpose, a higher connection to God or spiritual to spirit, whatever you want to call it, is tied to longevity. And of course, our service missions and having meaning, that's tied to longevity. So again, another great documentary that might be a good resource for you there. Let's see, other strategies, probiotic foods. This is new, this is buzzy. And, it's thought that 90% of our serotonin is produced in our gut. And serotonin is the molecule of contentment. It's all good. Life is good. Everything's going to be fine. And we all want to feel more serotonin. And serotonin, we get boosts of serotonin from psychedelics. That's why people are gravitating towards serotonin or gravitating towards psilocybin. Apparently psilocybin and the psilocybin molecule and the LSD molecule are very similar to serotonin. That's why they latch on to those receptors. And again, 90% of our serotonin is produced in our gut. These probiotic foods, kimchi is my favorite. I absolutely love a good kimchi. I've got these probiotic vegetables that I'll get, sauerkraut, kefir, and yogurt. Those are kind of my go-tos. And excuse me, that drink, what's the drink? The probiotic drink. I'm drawing a blank here. But that is something that can be really good as well. It's got too much sugar in it, though, and that's something that I have a beef with. Kombucha. Sorry, I was drawing a blank there. That the kombucha is a little bit tricky because, again, this is where BS Inc. gets hold of it and they start jacking it up with sugar, and then it defeats the whole purpose. Yeah, you might get some good benefits from the healthy bacteria in your belly, but you're probably going to have more inflammation. It's going to cause more problem than it tastes like candy. It tastes like soda. So again, that's BS Inc. You want to look for very low sugar content on all of those foods, and they're fermented, and again, really good for our gut. And the gut is going to equate to mood and mental health, more serotonin, feeling good in our body. Another strategy here too is that something that I do is that I'll often eat before I go out. I'm a giant. I train really hard, and I eat a lot. but that's a way that I mitigate. I always think about harm reduction. So if I'm going to a place that I know is going to have cruddy food, and I'll eat before, and I'll just eat really, really lightly, or have a salad or something when I go out with, and if I'm around food pushers, people that want to push the food on me, I'll just have something light. And that's something that I've given thought to as well, because I don't want to be in a situation, because I know the food tastes good, and the next thing I know, I will eat a whole pizza. And then, my energy levels are not very good the next day. And so again, we're bringing mindfulness into, and I think that psychedelia, the microdosing, the macrodosing can be helpful, because again, it's going to give us that interoceptive awareness. We can embody how these foods make us feel. And then we do more of what works, less of what doesn't. We don't need to make this complicated. This is a simple approach. Again, more of what works, less of what doesn't. Hopefully you found some nuggets of insight that could be helpful for you on your journey around food. I've seen it in a few of my clients. That isn't my focus, but I've had a handful of clients over the years that wanted to lose weight. And I had a 6-month coaching program with Josh. He lost 55 pounds in our 6 months together. Granted, he got into running. He was running 4 or 5 times per week, and really took to heart the practices. And I've seen other shifts. In a recent mastermind, we had one of the brothers lost 20 pounds in our 8 weeks. So it can happen. It's not, and I think it's going to be a byproduct again of boosted mood and energy levels. We're moving our body more. We're feeling better. We're moving and grooving, and that's going to be helpful. That's going to help to catalyze our journey, and to get out, get more of those walks, more steps, more exercise, all the good stuff that's going to help us feel better in our body. And when we feel better and we move more, we're naturally going to lose weight. So again, hopefully you found some value with this. I know that this might seem like an edge where there isn't a tie, but I think that that with food being the most important aspect, we are what we eat, and with that awareness, we can make these subtle adjustments and not be too hard or too rigid with this process, but to know that this is something that we can bring some mindfulness into our practices, and some awareness, and channel that, and hopefully that will help you come to some of your own ahas about what is nourishing your body and what isn't, so you can make those adjustments. So much love to all of you. Thank you so much for listening. Till tomorrow, love and peace.